just that one.
It's doing really well.
Yeah, they're surprisingly good.
Yeah. Well, we had to fight them not to switch to gas from oil.
Okay, you see this running? Meeting is live stream. Whatever your thing.
This is mine. I was looking all over.
Is it on the planning board?
For my iPad.
Ready?
Yeah.
Okay. Good evening, everyone. This is the meeting of the Village Environmental Policy Board for Tuesday, August 8th, 2023. My name is Ted Mitza. I'm the chair. I'll have the other members introduce themselves also. Rachel.
Rachel Lagodka. I'm also on the planning board.
Jessica McGovern, new to the planning board,
Or environmental policy.
environmental policy board. Repeated
So,
you.
yes,
It's okay.
Welcome
I am
to Jessica's newest member this evening. We're thrilled to have you here.
Yeah.
Um,
Awesome. Yay. We
We
have.
also have,
quorum. There's three.
we should have Greg in the audience. He's also on the Environmental Policy Board. We do have an agenda prepared for this evening. And also before we get started with that, email any questions or comments to the Environmental Policy Board whenever you like at environment@villageofnewpaltz.org. Go ahead and call the meeting to order, and it's our process to allow the community to for the public to comment. Seeing none, we'll move on, but keep in mind that if you are interested in making or talking with the Environmental Policy Board in a public forum, we do allow that or have opportunities for that at the beginning of the meetings. We don't have any public hearings this evening. We'll move on to administrative actions, and that's the first thing is the approval of the agenda. You all have a copy of the agenda, and I'll entertain a motion to approve the agenda for this evening's meeting.
So moved.
And moved and seconded.
Second.
Any discussion? All those say aye.
Aye.
Approval of the minutes. We do have a set of minutes from our last meeting. It was distributed. I looked at it. Looked good. I'll entertain any questions or a motion to approve the minutes from the last meeting.
I didn't look at them. I just remember the hose. Hose is on there, right? Awesome. That's it.
Okay. So I'll entertain a motion to approve the minutes.
So moved.
And I'll second it. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Yeah, all right. We do not have any claims this evening. Any announcements for this evening? We'll share anything. Okay. All right. The next item is discussion of the village planning board update and discussion from Rachel. Rachel also serves on the planning board for the village. So excellent person to talk about that. Do you want to give us any updates on village board items?
Well, I had to leave the meeting before it was finished. It went on till God knows when. And so the one, I guess, item that has the most environmental impact I would have missed that. So it's just, I would imagine what happened. My guess is that we still deemed the DEIS incomplete, or I'll have to ask Autumn what happened with that. Was the DEIS for New Paltz Apartments, was that deemed complete or incomplete?
They have to make a few more changes based on what was decided at the last meeting.
Right.
And they were working to get that submitted by next week, but that we haven't seen it yet.
Okay. So that's still it's still not at the point where we are sharing everything with the public, even though I don't think there's anything legally against that. It's this whole thing about version control or whatever, I don't know. But anyhow, so that's still in the draft. It's a very large development, 724 beds, just south of SUNY New Paltz, and it's supposed to be for student housing. And it's on the edge of a wetlands, and it's going to, most of the other developments that are before the planning board don't really involve, cut and fill and all the other sort of environmental degradations that go along with that. Because they're just on they're putting apartment buildings where there was the agway
Okay.
and then like just down from the agway. So it's all already asphalt. And then further down, I guess there's like 3 or 4 apartment buildings on Route 32. But yeah, I don't know. That's a lot to work out. I believe what happened with 32 was the engineers deemed the plumbing situation there insufficient with the sewer and the force pump and all that. So they're looking into that. It's going to be a big draw on the sewage treatment. So
So with New Pulse Apartments, and I'll introduce Autumn. She's off camera, but she's helping us facilitate this evening's meeting. She also was at the same planning board meeting Rachel was at, and that's why
She's
she's
much-
commenting on.
it takes minutes to. She
So
knows what's going on better than I do as well.
soon in the process, the draft environmental impact statement will be released to the public for the public to have an opportunity to comment on it. Also,
Correct.
the interested parties, I know the environmental policy board is, and a couple other
Yes.
agencies would have the opportunity to comment on it
Yes,
as it is considered for the next steps in the planning
Yes.
process.
yes.
And we would hope to see that soon, and I think we can easily say that we remain interested in seeing it once it's available for the public to look at and comment.
Absolutely.
All right. So other projects then, the State Road 32.
Well, I mean, aside from just the increased amount of traffic and therefore air pollution and the, I guess, increased population, most of the other places are already, they're already paved. There's already asphalt there. I don't think they're not tearing up that much of, I guess there's a little bit going on with that hotel. They're gonna put a hotel between the awareness shop and Convenient Deli at the Moxie Cupcake, yeah.
That got
So,
passed.
it did not get passed, but it's in, they're planning to
Mhm.
put a hotel there. And I think they're tearing up a little bit of the back lot or something, but it's not like it's not like a
Needs to be something.
wetlands or anything. There's other, I mean, so like, I suppose we could look at the, I guess, the increased amount of air
cars.
traffic and air pollution and that sort of thing.
Any other projects you want to tell us about or update us?
I can think of, I mean, is there anything other environmentally impactful developments?
Those that were discussed at the last
Yeah.
meeting, there were a few residential projects that
They don't involve cutting down too much. And then I guess they are trying to put a hotel at the old box factory right there on Plains Road, like at Water Street,
Oh,
right next to Water Street Market, that big brown sprawling kind
Yeah.
of building. So,
How
they
many
were,
stories?
huh?
How many stories?
3.
Sisters, 28 rooms, I can't remember what.
Yeah. I mean, the height at that location doesn't really present a problem because it's all so far down, you know what I mean? It's not really gonna impact anybody's view from where it is. I mean, they'll see it from the other side, I guess.
I just feel like that location is a big draw for them.
That location is a crazy as far as like the street goes. I mean, it's got that hairpin turn right there and there's no sidewalk and there's all this other stuff.
Well, Jessica, we've been down a couple of members, 1 or 2 members for quite some time. In the past, we've had environmental policy board member rotate to go and be at the planning board meetings to
That's great.
listen, participate, answer questions if we can, or more than likely follow up on questions that come up. Rachel has kind of done both things since she's a member.
Yeah, I gotta
Late.
be there anyhow, so.
Right. So,
Meet the first Friday or first Tuesday
They
or?
meet 2 Tuesdays a month.
yeah, so as we get, well, as we get more comfortable with the position, and we get back up to 5 members, we could certainly, I think it'd be good for us to set as a goal, a rotation, not everybody that needs to, but I mean,
Oh, yeah. Well, also
Meeting.
village board too.
well, we do that on the town side, which we'll get to here in a second, but that way we can offer more of our thoughts, expertise, concerns during the planning
Sure.
board meetings themselves. It's just been a while since we've been.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, well, I mean, we're also allowed to speak at the public comment. And you don't have to address, they request that you don't address a particular development because they have public hearings for all the particular developments. But you can get up and just make a plea for the, wetlands preservation or any sort of general environmental topic, and it's good for them to know that people care about it,
All right, anything else on the village planning board? Next item is the awareness collaboration from the town's environmental conservation board. I also serve as a member of the town's environmental conservation board. They meet once a month also, and then the main role for me on both of those is to interact or kind of update the other boards who do that. So with that, what is coming up on the town's environmental conservation board agendas is the Trans Hudson project.
Oh, is that back?
It's back. I wasn't able to find out what I was planning, but it is listed on the agenda for next week, Monday, August 14th, at the town planning board meeting. We, on the environmental conservation board, we do a rotation, so that's also when I'm scheduled to be at the environmental conservation board meeting. I will be there by Zoom, but I'll be doing that. But anyway, so Trans Hudson is coming back, and then there's one other project. It's next to Walgreens. It's really a redevelopment or redoing of the I think it's the old hair salon or whatever, but one of those empty shops is getting
empty shop there, yeah.
It's a T-Mobile shop, and I might even be off by which one it is, but it's the redoing so there's not really a lot of content for us from an environmental standpoint. If anything, redeveloping, reusing, repurposing existing buildings is helpful. Perspective of that.
Absolutely, yeah.
We will meet then, I think, a week from Thursday, and we meet at the community center, Veterans Drive, once a month. Also, any questions for the town's aspect that I can pass along when I go to that meeting next week?
Is that also open to the public?
Yes.
I'm curious if there are any developments right now that are impacting the wetlands in town. Just whether that's on their radar. I know there were numerous developments in the town that were going to be very impactful to the wetlands, but they didn't happen. But it seems like a lot of the old developments that were trying to be built are coming back now because they see an economic opportunity. But I don't know how long that will last.
Where that brown building is seems a little bit wild to me,
putting
between
in
the
a
wall
hotel
kill
right
or,
there?
I mean, the traffic element. It's super congested. It's awkward as it is, and there's no parking. So
People are having that
sizing something
reaction.
up against the wall kill, like, just kind of blows my mind a little bit. But
They have engineers and traffic studies and all that, and a lot of people agree with you.
and I don't know
It
enough
seems
about the
crazy.
project.
It's really hard to walk there. It's really
Yeah.
hard to walk down that road, walk down Mohonk or ride a bike. That's my.
All right. Anything else about the town? Next item then is for us to talk about any reports or special projects that we're working on. Anything about the landscaping out front?
No, we were gonna get a hose. I don't know if we got one yet.
So DPW has something, and they said they would leave it out at the.
Well, there you go. So we'll be able to water stuff. I mean, the only news I have is that this one weed grew, giant thistle, and we were gonna take it down, but then we noticed that there were all kinds of pollinators on it and all different kinds of bees, and it just seemed so full of life, even though it's a spiky, nasty
Healthy.
thing.
It's a great blood toner.
Well, you're welcome. The purpose of the garden is that people should be able to harvest things from it. And so if you want to harvest that thistle, I don't know what you can do with it now, but it's definitely gone to seed and the goldfinches are enjoying it. It's really cool to see this little bird like all up in it.
Okay. I think I did have a handout for this that I wanted to turn into a discussion topic.
Sure.
And I think it probably makes more sense to put it under here as a report from officers or committees. What I want to do is really a pitch. The things that are involved here, I'll talk about in more detail, but I think it is something we could do or plan to do for next year with the village. I'm an environmental engineer, and I still do quite a bit of work with the city of Fort Wayne that's in Indiana. And in a lot of the areas, they are very much cutting edge on the public outreach, education standpoints. And these programs are actually, I think, a couple of years old, but it is something that I think we could do on a smaller scale here, then also just take advantage of everything they've already figured out. They already have the materials, the outreach materials, all the sources and things that we could consider doing here. As I look around for the Environmental Policy Board, what things could we do? One of them is to increase awareness. So to have some type of public activity fit into our busy schedules as it is. That's efficient, that we're not necessarily reinventing the wheel, that we could rely on. But anyway, let me talk about these individually. The one that's the coolest, in my opinion, is the decorate the storm drains. That's this upper right-hand corner of the octopus. What you do is you provide the paint and an accounting system to say, who has what, but volunteer groups, a Girl Scout troop or a family, would say, we'd like to adopt a storm drain along Main Street or along Plattekill or something like that. And then they're given the materials and things and some outlines to make it a piece of art. It'll wash away over the course of a year or something like that, but for either Earth Day or Memorial Day or sometime, something early in the summertime, that it can be an event that increases awareness for protecting the storm drains or protecting, what goes into the storm drains. All kinds of examples of good pictures and cool concepts and things like that. But what it would be is the creativity of the community kind of comes out as to how that happens. Our role would be to organize those who are involved or interested in volunteering, put together, get the materials, source the materials, and then just let it go. Let people go with it. The other one is, this one is to just mark or flag or adopt storm drains themselves. Glue in a little patch. Sometimes you've seen them, don't put trash in me or something like that. But again, it increases awareness for protecting the environment, maintaining water quality, or just being more aware of your surroundings. So,
I think Riverkeeper, was it Riverkeeper? We did that here. The EPB did that here. I
okay.
think like maybe 15 years ago or something like that. And I remember it because people were complaining that the glue was really toxic. Like you have to use this really intense glue to glue the sticker on.
Well, 15 years ago you did.
And then, oh, the glue now is better. That's good. But then of course, eventually it washes into, the sticker washes into the storm drains. But I don't know. And so then the paint is non-toxic too. The paint,
Sure, it would be
cool.
paints that are picked that are compatible with the environment.
And then it just washes away after a while.
Yeah, well, much like the rainbow
The
paint that we
rainbow.
have the crosswalk.
Yeah.
Maybe something like
Okay.
that. Very simple.
It's a cute idea. Community involvement. Keep eyes on the idea that New Paltz is green, as long as it is non-toxic, because that was my first thought.
They want you to clean them, but I don't know. Do they, Does the village clean the storm? I know they use that street cleaner. Which I've always kind of questioned because I feel like it uses a lot of water. It
Right?
uses 1,000 gallons of water every time it goes around and the street doesn't really look much cleaner. So I was like, I always question the street cleaner. But I think they do go around and clean them out every so often. And this is a program where you want citizens to go and like, I don't know, use a hook or something to take stuff out of the storm.
I don't believe that would be part of it. Maybe sweeping or cleaning the area up top around it before you put the
That's
paint down.
Okay.
But no, I wouldn't expect or want the citizens to pull the manhole lids up and jump inside. Scoop out all the trash and stuff like that.
Yeah, no, I was thinking the storm drains are like, there's bars and there's just a hole and the water goes in. That's how it is outside my house.
Mhm.
And so it does fill up with leaves and then the water doesn't go down. So you just take the leaves off of it,
Right.
you know.
Well, next month I can bring some information back about what kind of paints are involved and stuff like that, or even find out what kind of glues they have involved.
Sure.
Would not be any hurry, but I did want to put this on the radar as something we could consider doing for next year.
The community involvement seems great and, keep New Paltz green. I like it. Keep that energy.
Any thoughts? You're involved in a lot of village things. I don't know if this crosses paths or creates conflict or concerns.
Right now, the village is doing a lot of work on the sewer system in general. So there is a lot of construction going on in various neighborhoods, so that
Right.
might be a relevant consideration to this, like there's a lot of plan for the next year. That's about to get underway, or will be getting underway soon, so that would be something to think about and trying to figure out how to implement this. But the stormwater and making sure that it is only water is a great concern for the village too. So it could maybe dovetail what's happening, but I'm not sure exactly how it would all fit together. I think you probably need to talk to the engineers. Or at least, give them their. But this is at least on topic with what the village is trying to accomplish, in terms of fixing it.
I like your idea of people adopting a drain near their house. I think that's kind of cool.
Yeah.
Feel more responsible for it, like.
Okay. Any other things that we're working on, reports or things? Autumn Zoom? The only thing I can think of is, well, two of the things we've talked about in the past. One is the single hauler trash contract that's all in place.
Oh, when is
It's
that
all-
coming up for renewal?
It's all done. Yeah, I think it's done.
Again?
They came in, they came in at the country. What they presented was, I don't know if it was the same or lower than the last year, but it was lower. There were two bids received, one from Royal Cargill and one from County Waste. Clearly.
They had a lower bid. Yeah. Well, you know what they do? They make up for it by charging a hell of a lot more. Like, I remember Royal Carting used to charge $30 to pick up a mattress. Well, County Waste wants $52 to pick a
Well-
mattress up outside your house.
I'm gonna tell you that in the village of New Paltz, you're paying $20 less a month than I do one town over.
Oh, for just the service itself?
So you're paying $20 less than I do per month.
Okay.
So, like, that's. Not something exactly the same. But that's just.
Oh, okay.
Experience.
Where do you live?
Okay, yeah.
I didn't even know they did pick up mattresses.
Yeah, you have to call ahead.
You call ahead, it takes forever,
I feel like my block doesn't know that.
and it's
There's like
52
5
bucks.
mattresses out there.
Well,
On
I
a couch.
Like, what happens to it? Like, I don't know. I don't usually get rid of them, but it's not easy to get rid of a mattress.
No.
I have to pay somebody to take it.
The large ones, the large stuff for county waste, or if you need stuff that's going outside of your bins, you have to call them and notify them ahead of time.
Yeah.
That's one thing. What's the other thing about county waste? I was gonna say, I just blanked, I can't remember. Oh, well, the village does do like a large garbage pickup once a week.
I know.
But,
It's
but
great.
you
I
have to
love
get it in.
Yep, you have to be getting rid of it the right time. So I guess I could leave it there till the spring.
Or ask the village to do two a year.
And as I understand it, I'm not a board member, so I'm not sure if I should weigh in this, but based on the mayor's recent trips to the transfer station up in Albany, county waste has more advanced recycling sorting available to it
That's
than,
good to know.
than they do up in Albany. That was the point that he mentioned, that they're able to recycle more kinds of things at county waste than they can at a lot of the transfer stations.
Yeah.
I just wanted to add that. Sorry.
Okay,
That's good to
all
know.
right.
So more of the recycling that we put in the bins actually gets recycled. So,
But they still don't do clamshells. Are they doing clamshells?
Well, they're not composting, right? They're not composting.
No, but I mean clamshells, the plastic.
Oh my goodness. I'm
Plastic
sorry, I thought you meant like a
lettuce
shellfish.
containers.
I was like, why are you trying to recycle clamshells anyway?
No, I think
all right. And then the other one was the paint swap. Is there any updates on that?
Nothing new. I have. I'm sure he's-
Well, we may want to end it as one of the projects we work on is to get the paint swap concept reestablished.
Yeah.
I think for now it's been idle upstairs. It's always struggled with access issues, but I think it just may need some help to get it up and running in a new spot.
He indicated that it does take a fair amount of time to manage that particular project, that people would frequently leave things behind that they weren't supposed to, and that they would have to be disposed of. So. But it's
Any other, well, okay, old business.
no.
Well, okay, old business, for me, I talked to Jessica beforehand. The teacher at New Paltz High School that I worked with to get high school members is no longer at the school. This summer he went to a different school. So once school starts, I'll be able to reach out to them and we'll see about having our fifth member filled with a high school student.
Sure, good idea.
Other items of interest to the Environmental Policy Board.
I'm not doing anything else right now. There's a lot of things I guess we could do, but I don't, I mean, there's sort of all the perennial projects that just need someone who's interested. Banning pesticides or reducing pesticide use in the village, and that's the whole thing. You'd have to talk to a lot of people. And I'm not sure where. I think that's it. What there's pesticides people are working on, pollinators, composting. We had some girls working on composting.
Composting would be great.
I don't know where that went. I know the town is doing something and there's some little company doing it. Can you
Okay.
tell me?
All right, our next meetings, Tuesday, September 12th, 5:30, and Tuesday, October 10th at 5:30. That October 10th, 5:30, I know I'll be out of town for that one. I'll be absent. But the other meetings are there scheduled. It's always the second Tuesday of the month. Again, if I have any comments, questions, or concerns for the Environmental Policy Board, please email us at environment@villageofnewpaltz.org. We all get those emails and we'd be happy to hear from you. Autumn, do we have anything else before we adjourn? I'll entertain a motion to adjourn the meeting.
So moved.
Moved, seconded, all those say aye.
Aye.
All right,
Thank you.
let's,
Thank you so much. Thank you very much. I'm so glad you caught me walking by. I had completely, I wasn't even checking